believed in Jesus, but I never really like, when it says following Jesus is actually turning away from sin. And so there's no, what it talks about in the Bible, it's like there's no obedience. There's no faith without obedience. So it's like I had faith about like, oh, I believe Jesus died on the cross for me, but I never really implemented it into my life. I never was like, I'm gonna be obedient. So I was like, I wasn't sleeping around. I wasn't doing a lot of stuff. I just was kind of by myself. And
who helped you come to that? Because I'm sure there are a lot of, and I don't mean this in a judgmental way, it's just humanity and everyone's on their own journey. There are a lot of people who are practicing one belief or another, but as you say, it's different when you say it as opposed to actually acting within its guidelines, which are there to give you ultimate focus, on what's important. So when did you decide to actually move within the guidelines, and how did you find yourself away from, I believe in Jesus, but I'm gonna drink or do drugs or sleep around or all these other distractions? How did you get out of that world? What was the turning point for you?
I think it was my perception of who Jesus really was, I'd had really bad examples of Christians in my life who would say one thing and do another. So they were my direct example of who Jesus was.
That's why you didn't take it seriously.
I didn't take it as seriously because I didn't have good examples.
Good role models.
And so I think the more I really looked at the character of who Jesus really was.
Did you grow up in a Christian household?
I grew up in a Christian household, yeah. But my mom was, she was really hurt growing up. She had so many things going on in her life, so she was navigating her faith journey. For me, it was just confusing because she'd say one thing and then she would say, well, you're forgiven, but then I'd do something bad or whatever was supposedly bad, but then she'd make me feel ashamed for it. So it's like, well, if Jesus forgives me, then why are you making me feel bad for doing something? Obviously there's a form of we gotta make sure we keep our kids accountable and punish our kids so that they learn from their mistakes. But if there's this God named Jesus who died for our sins so that we don't have to live in shame, then why? It was just things like that would make me really question, who is this Jesus guy? And I didn't really take a deep look into who he was.
That's tough. I get it. Hey man, our parents do the best they can. Do you think that if you hadn't redefined what Jesus was and reclaimed it into something that was worthy of practice for you, which then led you on a path of reconciliation with your wife, do you think the person that the you of then was on a path of self-destruction? Do you feel that you were self-destructing?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have, for sure. 100%. Yeah. 100%.